Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington DC, I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
Chicago's food culture is not defined by one dish. It is defined by pressure. Pressure from population, from industry, and from a constant flow of people moving through the city, all of which forced the food scene to become fast, dense, and incredibly efficient. This is a city that grew as a transport and industrial hub, which meant workers needed food that was quick, filling, and affordable. That demand shaped what has become some of Chicago's most recognizable foods, not as luxury items, but as practical solutions to feeding large numbers of people every day. Take deep dish pizza as an example. It is often treated like a novelty, but it was designed to be substantial. A thick crust, dense layers of cheese, and a rich tomato base create something closer to a full meal than a quick snack. It is engineered for volume, not speed, which makes it different from the thin pizzas found in other cities. Then there is the Italian beef sandwich, which reflects a completely different kind of efficiency. Thin slices of beef are cooked in seasonal broth, then served in bread that absorbs those juices. The result is fast to prepare, easy to serve in high volume, and built around maximizing flavor from relatively simple ingredients. It is a system designed for throughput. The Chicago-style hot dogs follows the same logic, but with a different approach. It is built as a complete package, combining multiple textures and flavors into a single item that requires no additional sides. Everything is included, which reduces preparation time and simplifies ordering while still delivering variety. What ties all these together is not just tradition, but function. These foods were shaped by the needs of the city, and those needs came from scale. Chicago had to feed large numbers of workers, travelers, and residents efficiently, and that required pushing food towards a solution that could handle volume without losing identity. Downtown Chicago takes that idea further by layering cuisines on top of each other. Alongside the classical local foods, there is a wide range of international options, reflecting the city's history of immigration and cultural exchange. Different communities brought their own approach to food, and instead of replacing what was already there, they added to it. That creates a food environment where variety exists within a relatively small area, which is exactly what a dense downtown required. People working in offices, moved through the transport hubs, or visited the city all needed access to food quickly, and the system responds by offering multiple options within close proximity. There is also a balance between speed and experience. Some locations focus on rapid service and high turnover, while others are designed for longer meals and social interaction. Both exist because the city supports both types of demands at the same time. What makes Chicago's food culture stand out is that it was not designed in advance. It evolved as a response to real constraints, and those constraints shaped how food was prepared, served, and consumed. The result is a system that works at scale, adapting to change, and still retains a strong local identity, which is why food in Chicago is not just about taste, it is about how a city feeds itself under constant pressure.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.